Want to know the latest and hottest music hitting the airwaves? Don't be left out. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Music Podcast. Keith keeps you on the loop with everything you need to know from pop, rock, hip-hop, and the top 40. And we'll throw in news of your favorite artists, concert and tour dates, and so much more. Listen no further, because this is the gold standard in music podcast.
Thank you for listening to the GSMC Music Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Gaelika Brown, the music lover constantly seeking positive music. If you like what you hear, be sure to subscribe to our show on your preferred podcast platform and write a review. Those reviews do help the show. Also, follow the GSMC Music Podcast on Twitter at GSMC_music. Now let's get into some music news. Ministry guitarist Sin Corinne accused of underage sexual relationships by two women. According to an article in Billboard, the alleged encounters took place prior to his time in the industrial metal band. Two women came forward accusing Sin of having sex with them multiple times when the women were minors. Kelly Longoria says she met Sin when she was 15 years old back in 2002, when he was the guitarist for Society 1. She claims she told him her age, and he said he was 28 years old and joked that he was old enough to be her father. Now, allegedly, he was lying about his age and was really 33 years old at the time. Brooke, an entertainment industry worker who asked to be anonymous, says she met Sin in 2005, a month after she turned 16, and said she had sex with him the night they met and the following night, and that he was well aware of her age. Sin denies these allegations. Trent Reznor teases another 9 Inch Nails album. Trent says that he and partner Atticus Ross have a template for new music and new material that they want to work on. However, the two aren't sure when they will have time since they both are busy scoring a new Pixar film together. Trent was recently announced as one of the 6 artists who will be inducted into the Rock Hall's Class of 2020. Now, rapper Eminem loves to drop surprise albums, and he did it again on Friday, January 17th with Music to Be Murdered By. Em also released a visual to his single, Darkness, which samples Simon and Garfunkel's hit, The Sound of Silence. The video opens with a lone Eminem sitting in a dark hotel room. It doesn't take long before the rapper is reaching for alcohol and pills, and it becomes clear that the video and song are referencing the 2017 mass shooting at the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival in Las Vegas that left 58 people dead and hundreds more injured. The video wraps with a wall of TVs showing news reports of deadly shootings that have happened across the United States. A final message then appears: when will this end? When enough people care. Register to vote at vote.gov. Make your voice heard and help change gun laws in America. Em also urges his fans to help end gun violence and support victims on his website, on which he provides a list of groups that are trying to make a difference. Apple TV Plus will air a documentary about the Beastie Boys and will be directed by Spike Jonze, who directed Being John Malkovich, Where the Wild Things Are, and Her. It's set to stream April 24th. Additionally, Jones, Mike D, Ad Rock, and Jonah Hill are also reportedly writing a feature film about the group's history, and Jones is publishing a new Beastie Boys photo book in March. January 31st, Taylor Swift's Netflix documentary, Miss America, will be available to stream. Man, I so wish I was Beyonce's homie, because a select few of celebrity homies were gifted giant wardrobes filled with pieces from her new Ivy Park Adidas collection. The homies who received the giant orange wardrobe to their residence included Reese Witherspoon, Hailey Bieber, Zendaya, Yara Shahidi, Janelle Monáe, and Cardi B. Demi Lovato revealed that she will be performing at this year's Grammys and singing the national anthem at this year's Super Bowl. So, I have to admit, I was too cool for school to be into the Jonas Brothers when they first came out. But after watching their Amazon documentary last year, I fell in love with them. And I love their love for their wives and the playful videos they have made with them. The most recent being their What a Man Gotta Do music video, which pays homage to Risky Business, Grease, and Say Anything. Of course, Nick Jonas is rocking the tighty whities and tube socks that Tom Cruise rocked in the film Risky Business. And I ain't mad at him and those thighs. Now, hours after it was reported that Rihanna broke up with her boyfriend of 3 years, Hassan Jamil, she was spotted having a good time with longtime friend A$AP Rocky. According to Us Weekly, the two were smiling and laughing backstage at the 5th annual Yams Day at Brooklyn Barclays Center. Don't mess with baby, y'all. Don't mess with the baby. Last week I reported that apple juice assault with the baby. Now, most recently, he is in the news again for assaulting a hotel valet worker. TMZ posted the hotel surveillance footage showing the baby shove the worker into a chair. To me, it looked like he did a firm sit your behind down and put some respect on my name shove. After the TMZ video posted, the baby responded on Instagram with the following message. That hotel worker you see me pushing came up to me outside the hotel and asked could he record a video of me while I was holding my 2-year-old daughter, he said. I calmly and respectfully said no and explained to him that him posting a video of me at that time would compromise the safety of me and my child by letting social media know where we were staying. After politely being told no, the man still decided to film the baby and his daughter from afar and post the footage to Snapchat. That's when the baby approached him and asked him to delete the video. I told him to delete the video immediately and take his bitch ass back in the hotel and do his job since he wasn't capable of being professional enough to abide by company policy while doing his job outside of the hotel, he said. His words, not mine. So excuse the profanity, just quote unquote. Now, upon entering the hotel, I made him sit down and understand the fact that no video is worth the safety of my child being compromised. Especially after I politely explained to him the reasoning behind me saying no, not to mention the fact that he is at work and his job is to valet park cars, not record customers, and violate their privacy, which I'm 100% sure is against employee policy at the hotel. Yo, that seems like a legit response to me. The young valet worker felt entitled to record and disrespect the baby's privacy and wishes and put his daughter's safety at risk. Plus, the kid was at work. That sounds like grounds for some work disciplinary actions. And if he was a fan, then he will know how private the baby is about his baby. So I echo again, don't mess with the baby, y'all. Now, it's reported that the Grammys will pay tribute to the late Nipsey Hussle this year. The Grammy tribute comes less than a year after the 33-year-old rapper was shot and killed outside his Marathon clothing store on March 31st. Now that wraps up our music news. When we return, we'll get into some new releases.
Always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Welcome back to the GSMC Music Podcast. I'm your host, Gaelika Brown. Now it's time for new releases and tours. New albums that dropped Friday included Eminem's Music to Be Murdered By, Dreamville and J. Cole, Revenge of the Dreamers 3, Director's Cut, The Bad Boys for Life soundtrack, Stunna for Vegas, Rich Youngin, Mac Miller's Circles, Halsey's Manic, Little Big Town's Nightfall, and Dustin Lynch's Tullahoma. Now, Tim McGraw, Monsta X, and Pearl Jam, Brooks and Dunn, Bon Jovi, and Steely Dan all announced tours last week. Latin power couple Amanda and Miguel Diego Verdaguer, my apologies on the pronunciation, they have their 2020 U.S. tour a la carte. The 6-date tour, exclusively revealed to Billboard on Tuesday, January 14th, will kick off February 28th in Las Vegas, making pit stops in Santa Rosa, Los Angeles, Denver, and Chicago before wrapping up March 22nd in Indianapolis. Clearly, I am unfamiliar with this duo, so I'm going to do a quick cliff notes on them. According to Billboard, Amanda and Diego met in the early 70s when Amanda joined his group Mediterraneo. She then kicked off her solo career with help from Diego and became a household name in the 80s with her songs El Memento and a Spanish song title I ain't even gonna try to pronounce. I already screwed up this first one, and that was a little simple. The other one, super complicated. So multiple Latin Grammy nominee Miguel is known for his romantic classics, such as a song title I can't pronounce and another song title I can't pronounce. And there you have your quick cliff notes on Amanda and Diego. Now, Mandy Moore is heading out on the road to support her album with a North American tour slated to kick off on March 20th in Pittsburgh at the Wyndham Center. For those Pittsburgh This Is Us fans, that's pretty freaking cool, since Pittsburgh is where the Pearson family is from. Shakira in concert. El Dorado World Tour will make its debut on HBO, giving Shakira fans an exclusive look of her most recent tour. The film, which was released on the big screen back in November, documents the Colombian singer's 2018 El Dorado World Tour, which included more than 50 shows in 22 countries. The live soundtrack, Shakira in Concert, El Dorado World Tour, peaked at number 18 on the top Latin albums chart dated November 23rd, 2019. Besides watching her shake them hips that don't lie, shake 'em, girl, shake 'em, we get an intimate look at how hard she works at her craft. The doc will debut just a few days before Shakira and Jennifer Lopez's highly anticipated halftime show at the Super Bowl on February 2nd. Now on to the top 10 songs played in the United States according to Apple Music. Roddy Ricch's The Box is still number 1, but that new Future featuring Drake, Life is Good, sits number 2. With Eminem's surprise album releasing, he has made the number 3 spot with Godzilla featuring the late Juice WRLD. Mac Miller's Good News is number 4. Number 5 is Eminem, again with Unaccommodating featuring Young M.A. Roddy Ricch's High Fashion moved down to number 6. Mac Miller is holding spots 7 and 8 with Circles and Blue World. Number 9, Lil Baby, Something to Prove. And number 10, The Baby didn't make the top 10 at all. He's been on the top 10 for a while, y'all. So at number 10, we have Eminem with Premonition. Now let's compare that to the top 10 songs played globally according to Apple Music. Roddy Ricch's The Box sits at number 1 in the US and globally still. Future and Drake are still number 2 like in the US. Eminem has spots 3 and 4 with Godzilla and Unaccommodating. Number 5, Mac Miller's Good News. Number 6, Eminem's Those Kinda Nights featuring Ed Sheeran. That wasn't on the US list. Number 7, number 8, and number 9, Eminem's You Gon' Learn, Premonition, and Darkness. Number 8, Mustard featuring Roddy Ricch, Ballin', and number 10, Mac Miller's Circles. Now, what have I been jamming? In the last episode, I talked about Moneybagg Yo dropping an album. Well, I had never heard of this dude before that, and I'm pleased to say his album jams. 123 featuring Black Youngsta is my standout. But all 41 minutes of this project bangs. It's an album you can press play and cruise without skipping a track. This Memphis, Tennessee rapper definitely satisfies my Southern trap fix. So I have a cousin who lives in Atlanta, and she randomly texts me her celebrity sightings, Sammy being one of them, in which I replied, "Who?" She reminded me he was a young kid when he first came out with I Like It, but Sammy is grown now and singing about grown man things with his EP, Send Nudes. I read through those 14 minutes pretty quick and only did it one time. It was cool. I may listen one more time, but if I don't, I ain't tripping. No new Christian hip-hop albums that I've listened to. My throwback song, Pastor Troy's No More Play in the GA, or actually No More Play in GA, that we ready. So my go-to album for feel goodness and Black woman empowerment is Beyonce's Homecoming, the live album inspired by her Netflix doc. Well, in it, her incredible marching band comprised of the best Black musicians from historically Black colleges plays and chants, "We Ready." Now that took me back to my Black college experience at Texas Southern University in Houston. Our band, the Ocean of Soul, would do all the hits, and I remember chanting, "We ready, we ready." I say all that to say, listening to Bay made me look up the actual Pastor Troy song, and it's been on repeat ever since. Now, speaking of Bay, that Before I Let Go from that same project is my ultimate feel-good song. I can't get enough of it, and I hope I never do. I love how it blends multiple sounds and samples, including the original song from Maze and Frankie Beverly and Cameo's Candy, and how the song continues to flip the beat and change throughout the song. Now, I'm trying to expand my dance music, library or knowledge, my EDM palette. There we go. So I've been listening to Grizz and his Bangers EP. Gonna Get Funky is my standout, and I enjoyed the Cha-Cha Slide sample. If you have a recommendation for me, hit me up on Twitter at GSMC_music. When we return, we will get into some music history.
Searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Music Podcast. I'm your host, Gaelika Brown. It's time for some music history. Maze and Frankie Beverly. The Philly group was among the top R&B acts of the late 70s and 80s. The distinctive Maze and its charismatic lead singer, founder, producer, and songwriter, Beverly, didn't have many pop hits, but they were extremely popular among soul and urban contemporary audiences and had over 5 gold albums. Beverly was born Howard Beverly in Philadelphia, PA, on December 6, 1946. He started calling himself Frankie after hearing Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers, a major doo-wop group, when he was only 9 years old in 1956. Beverly had been singing gospel in church, and it was Lyman who made him realize that he wanted to perform secular music. From the age of 12 to 17 years old, Beverly founded several doo-wop groups. It was in 1970 that Beverly founded the band that eventually came to be known as Maze, featuring Frankie Beverly. Originally, Maze went by Raw Soul and recorded 3 singles. Although the group is from Philly, Beverly never felt like they fit the Philly soul sound like his peers, the Delphonics, the Moments, and the Stylistics. So feeling out of place in his own hometown, Beverly moved Raw Soul to the San Francisco Bay Area in 1971. Raw Soul had been playing the San Francisco Oakland scene for several years when Beverly's idol Marvin Gaye became aware of the band. Quite impressed by Beverly's singing and songwriting, Gaye helped them land a deal with major label Capitol Records in 1976. One thing Gaye didn't like about Beverly's band was the name Raw Soul. The late soul giant insisted on a name change. Obviously, they listened. Maze's self-titled debut album was released by Capitol in 1977. That album, which contains the hits Happy Feelings, While I'm Alone, and Lady of Magic, went gold and earned Maze an extremely devoted following. Maze earned a reputation for having one of the best live shows in R&B, and their first live album, Live in New Orleans, a 2 LP set, came out in 1981. Another live double LP, Live in Los Angeles, was released in 1986, which was the year after Maze's funky Back in Stride reached number 1 on Billboard's R&B singles chart and became their biggest hit ever. In 1989, Maze left Capitol for Warner Brothers and recorded Silky Soul. By that time, Maze was receiving a lot of attention from the rap world. Their recordings were being sampled extensively by hip-hoppers. In 1988, rapper Rob Bass used the chorus of Maze's Joy and Pain on a single that had the same title. Unfortunately, Bass did so without permission and Beverly threatened legal action. Now, Maze and Frankie Beverly's live shows still continue to be successful by their devoted fans. Now, whenever I hear their music, it just takes me back to my childhood. It reminds me of my father. He jammed their records, cassette tapes, what are those? And CDs. At family functions, Before I Let Go would be on the playlist. And whenever that song plays, black folk everywhere bust into the whoa, whoa, you make me happy, which is part of the reason I love that Beyonce remake for nostalgic reasons. Happy Feelings was also on the playlist. Happy feelings in the air, touching people everywhere. Yes, good times. Now on to our Say What song lyrics. Now there are lyrics we grew up singing and never gave a second thought about what we were singing. But hindsight's 2020, especially with the Me Too and Time's Up movement. Also, culturally, we are more aware of prejudices, and as a society, we are trying to be more inclusive. So looking back at older lyrics can be a jaw-dropping and humorous experience. I got a recommendation for this Say What song lyrics segment. If you have recommendations, tweet us at GSMC_music. So, I wasn't aware that the 1983 Police song, Every Breath You Take, is from a lens of a stalker. And yes, I was a baby when it released, but growing up, I just thought the beat and chorus was catchy. But now with the Netflix original You, the song is creepy. I'm gonna do a dramatic U-type reading as we examine these lyrics. And I'm probably gonna get a little extra with the reading. Well, let's keep it real. Not probably. I will. Here we go. Action. Every breath you take and every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you. Every single day and every word you say, every game you play, every night you stay, I'll be watching you. Oh, can't you see you belong to me? How poor my heart aches with every step you take, every move you make, every vow you break, every smile you fake, every claim you stake, I'll be watching you. Since you've gone, I've been lost without a trace. I dream at night, I can only see your face. I look around, but it's you I can't replace. I feel so cold, and I long for your embrace. I keep crying, baby, baby, please. Oh, can't you see? You belong to me. How my poor heart aches with every step you take, every move you make, and every vow you break, every smile you fake, every claim you stake, I'll be watching you. Every move you make, every step you take, I'll be watching you. I'll be watching you. Every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you. Every single day, every word you say, every game you play, every night you stay, I'll be watching you. Every move you make, every vow you break, every smile you fake, every claim you stake, I'll be watching you. Every single day, every word you say, every game you play, every night you stay, I'll be watching you. Every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you. Every single day. Every word you say, every game you play, every night you stay, I'll be watching you. Every move you make, every vow you break, every smile you fake, every claim you stake, I'll be watching you. Every single day, every word you say, every game you play, every night you stay, I'll be watching you. Now, if you have a Say What song, please tweet us at GSMC_music, and you just may hear the lyrics on the show. Now, I definitely appreciate your time. Thank you for listening to the GSMC Music Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. If you like what you heard, subscribe to our podcast. And if you feel compelled, write a review. Until next time, I'm Gaelika Brown, the music lover constantly seeking positive music.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Music Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.